Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is Serial Gaming here, and today we're going to talk about two units that apparently no one seems to actually care about. They're good, don't get me wrong, and a lot of people actually like them. They're just because the fact that they're returning LD, so nothing too new about their kit. Anyway, before we get into details, consider subscribing to my channel if you enjoy my content today and liking the video as well. It does help the channel. And of course, if you want to further support the channel, you can click the join button down below to join my membership to enjoy some extra benefit and perks. Alright, so getting into it, we'll be starting off with Fran. So Fran essentially already get a rework before with her LD release, but now she's gonna get one more new rework. Her skill 1 plus, I'm only going to mention the plus version because it's really easy to get access to it. You need 5 stacks of her debuff, which is the Vera punishment. And it's, like I said, very easy. I'll be talking about how to set up that later. Anyway, the skill 1 plus right now does a 4 single target HP attack, and it provides a 50% splash to non-target. Her skill 2 plus version will now do a 4 split AoE HP attack, and that's about it. Her LD does a 4 single target HP attack with a 20% splash on each HP attack right now. So just more damage for her side, but otherwise not too much changes. Her Crystal level 90 upgrade her EX plus into a 4 split AoE HP attack, and that's about it. She also has an improvement on her EX buff with now a 30% party brave damage up and a 20% party HP damage up, which is really nice. Her additional ability also has been extended up to 5 turns and restore 1 use of her skill 2. It now provides a 20% party attack up, an additional 15% range attack up for range attacker of course, and a 20% party brave damage cap up. Alright, so Fran essentially is a very decent aura bot and debuffer for your party. She actually enables a lot of damage for your party to do a lot of damage, especially if they're range attack. With the combination of her aura from her upgraded EX buff and the debuff at the maximum stack, which is 10 stack, she'll be providing a 70% brave damage up to the entire party and a 50% HP damage up. That's actually a very good number, especially for a unit that only has an LD. So I would say her auras are actually quite potent. Aside from that, her kit is also extremely easy to set up. So like I said before, at quest start, she'll be getting 2 stacks of that Vera punishment, and using her LD will add up to 3 stacks, which will have her start with the wave with 5 stacks. So you'll gain access to the plus version almost immediately after her LD. And by every time the enemy receive a bravery damage from the party, they'll be increasing the stacks by 1 as well. So easily it can go up to 10 stacks, although it does require some time, 5 turns to be exact. But anyway, the debuff duration is also very long. If you consider that using her skill 2 also provide this debuff, it actually lasts up to 8 turns if I'm not wrong. So it's really hard to fall off, and even if it does fall off for some reason, or even if the enemy cleanse the debuff, it's not really hard to for Fran to reset up the entire LD debuff. Not the LD debuff, the Vera punishment debuff. The debuff itself can be reapplied by using her skill 2 and can go up to 5 stacks again once you use her LD again. So it's very easy to set up. It's like Zack, LD, very easy to go up to the maximum stacks, and it can stay there as long as the enemy as long as you maintain that debuff itself. And of course, Fran with her original kit of having a range imperil or range attack resist down, she's naturally going to be a range attack best friend. So units like Tidus, Kayn, Freya, Laguna, Irvine, Trey, and many more, it's going to be hitting really hard with Fran just in the party itself. Anyway, what I'm just trying to say that is Fran actually enables the party a lot, even more if you're a range attacker. So yes, that's one of the good things about having her in the party. Although her call is nerfed down for the debuff capability, but it still provides a substantial good amount of enables damage, as well as provide that range apparel should you need it. Although I do want to argue that Irvine's LD call may be better, but Fran's LD call does last longer if you couple along with her skill 2. Anyway, if you're running Fran in the party though, do understand that once she apply her debuff, she's basically just gonna stand there and just press button to do some extra damage, because She doesn't have any brave gain in between her HP attack, so it also means that Fran have some hard time capping her own damage and her own HP attack. So with that in mind, you can say that she's covering quite limited role in the party. So you might want to consider whether or not you want to run her in the party itself. I personally just don't use her as much. I used to use her call quite a bit, but right now there's just far better option for me to go for. Anyway, moving on from Fran, we'll be going with Celes. Celes skill 1 does a 3 single target HP attack with a 50% splash. Her skill 2 does a 2 single target HP attack and it's now a instant turn rate skill, which is really nice. It also doesn't add to turn count for the skill. Her LD now does a 4 split AoE HP attack, and the LD traps which land from her LD does a 2 single target HP attack every time the enemy takes a turn. So it's pretty nice. The trap having double HP attack from the trap is always a nice upgrade to have. Her Crystal Level 90 upgrade her EX into a 6 single target HP attack. Weirdly, no splash damage on this EX, but it's not really that important as well. She also improved her EX buff with now a additional 20% party brave and HP damage up. Her additional ability upgrade now extends to 7 turns. It does lock all the enemy onto her for 4 turns, and it adds 10% party max bravery and stolen overflow up, as well as a 20% party brave damage cap up. So Celes, she's a very unique tanking mechanism. She has last stand on herself, and she also has a bravery absorb mechanism but only applies on magic attacker. It's similar to Leon, but the condition for her to absorb is different. Like I said before, she absorbs magic damage, whereas Leon absorbs non-elemental attack. So Celes does get even better with her tanking capability during her BT release, which we will not be getting until later down the line. I think around September or October. Anyway, she's a very like I said, her tanking capability is not like any other units that we get recently, so she's quite unique. She's the only one similar to her is of course Leon with the LD debuff. I mean the LD trap and the absorption tanking capability. Celes LD trap also heals and buries the entire party, so it's pretty nice to have her providing a very defensive situation to your entire party, since she can heal off turn, she can bury off turn, she also does absorb the enemy attack off turn. So she's a pretty reliable tank. She also has decent offensive and defensive aura to the entire party, with the additional 20% party bravery and HP damage up from her EX buff actually helps a lot for the party to deal more damage. Considering the fact that she also has Imperil and Ice Enchant. She also applied Imperil and she has Ice Enchant to the party, so extra benefit in that sense. Her base skill damage may be weak with just a 2 single target HP attack on her skill 2 and 3 on her skill 1, but considering the fact that her EX actually recharge at a very fast rate, so I would say that with that in mind, you can easily use her EX to deal more damage. Since her skill 2 is now instant turn rate, it's not really that hard for her to recharge her EX and gain more benefit with having more turns. And of course, being in Final Fantasy VI, she's my second or third favorite character in that game itself, so definitely I will be recommending her a lot. She's like waifu material. Anyway, if you're going for Celes in the party, do note that you want to run her with counters or trap unit to maximize her damage output, since although she can recharge her EX rather fast with her on-turn damage, she still works a lot better off-turn. Her trap, which triggers 2 HP attack every time the enemy takes a turn, is always a welcoming additional bonus to have. So running her with units like Trey, Maria or Furion is always devastating to see how the enemy just killed himself. Anyway, despite the fact that Celes has a lot of brave gain in between HP attack, she doesn't provide any brave gain up auras. It's not really that bad. It's a little bit sad to be honest, but you can actually maximize her damage by pairing her with the right unit to capitalize that fact. For example, Karen or Snow or even Ram. Although Ram might be a little bit less suitable with Celes in the party, considering that Celes is not exactly compatible with turn manipulators. because like I mentioned before, she wants the enemy to get turns to maximize her damage output. So if you're gonna run her with units that delay, or with units that actually delete turns, or even push allies turns to the front, it's not exactly very suitable for them to go with Celes. I mean, if you're running a tank, normally you don't mind the enemy getting turns, so that's that. Anyway, I think I mentioned before that I dislike using tank, so Cross has been actually biting me on this particular word, because I actually pull for a lot of tanks despite the fact that I mentioned that I hate tanks. So I just want to clarify here. Alright, I don't like tanks that actually make stages boring. Actually, I want to retract that fact. I use tanks quite a bit as well, so maybe I enjoy using them sometimes. I am not really sure. Anyway, counter tanks are absolutely different. I love using units like Celes, like Oren, or like Core, if you consider Core a tank, that is. I mean, I don't think he is, but just saying. I like units that counter from when they receive attack. Like Dffoo, it can even be fun as well, or Gladiolus as well, of course. But that is only during the upcoming changes, because previously when I pull for Gladiolus, I don't recall running him a lot because he does make the stage a little bit too easy. But anyway, what I'm talking about is, what I wanted to share here is, I think Celes is a very fun unit despite her being a tank. So tanks are not the problem here. I am the problem, probably, because I talk shit about it. Anyway, Celes is a very fun unit to have. If I didn't really already have her, I definitely would go for her. The only sad part about Celes is she comes with Yuna. I'm not saying that Yuna is bad, but for Yuna to be a returning LD, so you might a lot of people might already have the possibility of having Yuna LD in their kit, so I mean in their roster, so they might be inclined to go for that banner itself. So that is the sad part about Celes. If she's coming in Prishe banner, I would definitely highly recommend that banner instead. But otherwise, Fran being not too awesome in comparison, so I guess it's balancing out between the two banners. But anyway, Celes is definitely a very good option to go for if you don't have Yuna's kit. And if you don't have Celes kit, definitely try to go for that banner, because they're just that good. They provide tank, they provide support, they provide aura, and they have a lot of utility. So I'll say that banner is worthwhile if you don't have both of them, of course. And if you have just one of them, it's going to make the banner a lot less worthy. As for the Prishe and Fran, Prishe is the only one that is really good value. Fran is quite easily replaceable, despite the fact that she does have some very good auras. Anyway, yeah, that's my opinion on the banner. What about you guys? Are you guys pulling for any of these two characters, or are you guys only going to focus on Prishe, which is the BT plus character? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.